Hey, this is Emily Galvin Almanza. What would you say if I told you that there were millions of children in this country who were not allowed to touch or hug their parents? That's actually true. It's happening across the country in America's prisons and jails. Jails, if you recall, hold mostly people who haven't been convicted of any crime. Most people in jails are just detained because they've been charged with a crime, but not actually convicted. And huge numbers of American parents are locked up. 80% of women in jails, for example, are mothers. Now, this has a terrible effect on children. Children become about 50% more likely to have physical health problems when their parent is incarcerated, about 120% more likely to have mental health problems when their parent is incarcerated. And for the parent, the effect is equally strong. Parents who are never visited, for example, or people who are never visited in prison have about 8 times more allegations of misbehavior in prison than people who do get visited. The effect of visits is transformative. People who are visited regularly are 13% less likely to be convicted of a new crime when they leave prison, and about 25% less likely to violate the terms of any eventual parole when they come home. The more people get visited, the less likely they are to get in trouble once they're released. And yet, prisons and jails across the country have made visits about as unpleasant as you possibly can. So, for example, putting prisons and jails really far away from population centers, so it's very hard for the caregivers of children to bring those children to visit their parents, or subjecting people to really intrusive, dehumanizing search procedures when they arrive. Or in a really painful example, children in Michigan were drawing pictures on the sidewalk outside the jail for their parents inside to be able to see, I love you written on the sidewalk in chalk. The jail washed those pictures away. And in fact, there's a new lawsuit right now alleging that jails in Michigan have been refusing to let parents hug their children and touch their children in an actual effort to make visits more unpleasant so that parents will use jail telecommunications more often. Why? Jail telecommunications make a lot of money and visits are free.